No waiting, just inventory price to move. Once it's gone, it's gone. Visit Landmark Implement or shop online at landmarkimp.com. Then click on the featured used equipment and experience the Landmark difference.
This is Alexander Fern, the voice of the Lincoln Stars, telling you to join the Stars Saturday, January 24th at the Icebox for our annual Aubrey Brown Club night. The Stars are at home to take on the Omaha Lancers at 6 p.m. Proceeds from the night will go toward a great cause. The Aubrey Brown Club is a local foundation that helps parents through the tragedy of child loss. The Stars will be wearing special jerseys that will be auctioned off following the game. And don't miss a great night for a great cause at the Icebox, Saturday, January 24th. Tickets are available at lincolnstars.com. Proceeds from the night will be donated to the Aubrey Brown Club.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Husker Nation, the countdown is on for the biggest women's basketball event of the year, PAC PBA, coming up January 24th. This year, we're heating things up with the Big Red Beach Party. Watch your Huskers take on Big Ten opponent Illinois, decked out in your best tropical gear, with a specialty tropical drink in hand, all inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. PAC PBA is your tropical getaway right here in Lincoln. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/PACPBA.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio, video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane University, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our long history of innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes us different. Now is your time. Apply today at doane.edu/apply.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
College golf is in full swing. This is Big Red Birdies, where you hear all about life on a college golf team and life as a student athlete. Here are your hosts of Big Red Birdies, Nebraska golfers Mackenzie Bream and Arden Louchheim.
Welcome into Big Red Birdies on this Tuesday night. Arden Louchheim here alongside Mackenzie Bream, and I just want to start off this show with giving Mackenzie props because she figured out her headphones.
I did.
And she figured out how to do these.
Still, but we should be good from now on.
If any of you listened or watched, I guess you would have had to watch last week to see this, but she's been having some headphone troubles week in and week out, so we're excited that she got that one sorted.
Me too, finally.
Yeah, I clipped it for you, but I didn't feel right. posting it to social media.
I showed it to our whole team. Don't even stress.
It
I
was
figured.
kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, and we were in Phoenix this past week, which we will get into on a much deeper level. But the Breams, Max and Brooke's parents hosted us at their house, so I showed your mom as well.
Oh, great.
Yeah, she loved it.
I'm sure she enjoyed that.
But yeah, so we just got back yesterday from our training trip in Arizona that we had kind of talked about possibly going on, or talked about how we were going on last week. And so we left. Mac left on Thursday. I left on Friday. We had 2 different groups depending on class schedule. The Thursday group got to go to a mental training program basically called Vision 54. And then the Friday group got kind of a rundown of it the next morning, which I thought was really cool. And we'll get more into it. Just kind of, I feel like it forced you guys to think about what you had learned to teach it to us, of kind of like when you learn like a math problem and you have to explain how to do it. I don't know. I always feel like that helped me learn.
Yeah, no, it definitely did. I don't know about you, but I slept in until about 11 a.m. this morning.
I had class at 11.
Oh, no.
But I was awake at 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a long trip. I mean, we had 3 days of qualifying. We're all staying together, so there's not really any downtime, which is so great. And we stayed in the most phenomenal house, and it was really just probably my 4 favorite days I think I've had this year with the team. And but yeah, it was we got an off day today, a well-deserved off day. We all took it, and I don't know of many of us who were up before 10 if we didn't have class.
Yeah. I will say, like, it's definitely one of my favorite moments for sure, because you're with the entire team. You're with all 12 people, which, as we've talked about before, you travel in a tournament with 6 girls. And so you get to really get to know your teammates on a different level, even though we already know each other so well. But we stayed in this incredible Airbnb. Should we touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, like let's start off with that, because it was a mansion. There's no other way to put it.
We drive up, and it looked like 5 houses combined.
Well, there's a gate too.
Yeah. And so we picked the rooms based on how old you were. So seniors get to go first, and I was rooming with my sister, who is a senior, so she got to pick the room first. And my room had about 6 different rooms in it.
It was crazy.
Giant bathtub. I wish hot tub. So I took about 4 baths, and it was incredible. But there was a pool, there was a slide, there was a sim room, a putting green.
I used the sim room.
Did you? You got some reps in?
I did. I sent my coach some videos after the second day, and I had like a mini lesson in the sim room.
That's great. The other fun thing we did is each morning we had half of our team cook breakfast. So we had like a little competition going there. My group made pancakes, fruit, eggs, bacon. We had the full breakfast.
Your guys' breakfast was so much better than ours. It was unreal. Like, we went first, and our breakfast tasted good. Like, we made breakfast burritos, but yeah, yours was so much better. We had breakfast burritos, fruit. We also just miscalculated the amount of fruit/food we needed.
Oh yeah.
So we ran out of, I mean, like, everyone got fed, but I think we ran slightly out of eggs. And you know, like, when the quantity of eggs you need to make breakfast burritos for 12 people, as well as 2 coaches or 3 coaches. I'm so happy we're not the men's team, because, you know, like, we all eat, but we're not, you know, like, ravenous.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine what it's like buying food for the men's team. But yeah, that was really fun. Both of the first and second day, we didn't have tea times until 1 p.m. And so that allowed us, one, to wake up at, like, you know, 9 a.m., which was awesome. Breakfast was at 9 or 9:30. And then, you know, we had that fun thing of making the breakfast, and then the table, obviously, because we were in a mansion, was huge. And so we all got to sit down and have breakfast together. We had almost every meal together besides lunch, because we were on the course. So
yeah,
it was pretty great. Just like Max said, to be all together, we don't get to do that very often out of the state. And even just being in the airport together and being on the plane together yesterday was so fun. Like, we were sitting 2 rows, or like, you were in front of me. And we were, you know,
how did I win $20?
We'll get, yeah. So we're jumping ahead, but Mac was on the plane, and, you know, you got to stretch your legs. It's the longest flight. So Mac's standing up and, you know, leaning over the seat talking to us. And I was like, if you sprint down the aisle and sprint back, I'll give you $30.
But I decided I couldn't sprint because
we thought it was a safety issue.
They would think I'm rushing the cockpit.
Yeah. We thought maybe that could end in the Nebraska women's golf team ending up in the news. And so I was like, okay, if you fast walk with an aggressive hip swivel, I'll give you $20, and then I'll add 5 on if you get a high five from someone. And so she, you know, goes down and back, and you didn't get a high five, but you did have the nice little hip swivel and going down and back. So
yeah, I tried with the high five. The guy did end up trying to after, but I had already put my hand down. So
But yeah, just stuff like that you don't always get when you don't have the whole team there. It was a Southwest flight, so we got to pick our seats, and all 12 of us were within 4 rows of each other. And it was just awesome to get to be around everyone. And I think our team is great. I was just talking to one of the girls in our team, Jess, in the locker room today. And what we were most excited about from the trip was the conversations that we had. We had so many team meetings and so many conversations, and we realized that a lot of it was driven by us. Coach Hall would pose a question or pose something, and then the rest of the conversation would be carried on by us. And I feel like we have such a great combination of caring so deeply for each other right now, but then also being very, very competitive. And I think it is hard to balance that. And I would say, I think in the fall, we maybe got a little bit too into just being very great teammates, which I think is probably the better end to lean to if you're going to go one way or the other. But I think this tournament or this qualifying trip was so good because all of us very clearly wanted to win and wanted to beat each other, but it never got to a point of a lack of care or a lack of love. And I think that came through in our team conversations.
Yeah, definitely. And just having 12 girls, as we've always talked about, is such a big team. I've never heard of a team bigger than 12 girls, but it's so fun because you have all of these 11 friends and you get to still be competitive while you're going. So that was awesome. But getting into sort of the first day, you had class, so you did not get to come along for this, but we went to this awesome kind of mental training at Vision 54, and they talk about 3 different boxes. So you have your think box, your play box, and your memory box. So the think box is just, okay, what am I doing before my shot? What am I thinking about before my shot? And then the play box is how you're actually executing your shot. And then the memory box is afterwards, what am I thinking about? What am I remembering? And it was kind of a way of just training these 3 different boxes. So I don't know about you, but in my think box, all I like to think about is, okay, my target, and then I'm going to execute this. And then I step into my play box. And the hardest thing that you have to do is just execute that shot right away and don't think about anything outside of that. And I think a lot of times you'll take your think box into your play box, which is what Vision 54 tried to help us get rid of. And then that memory box is the hardest one to train because it's the memories afterwards. And a lot of times you're not celebrating your successes. You're just thinking about the poor things. So they had us go onto the range and do a bunch of different activities. And the one that worked for me was, okay, once I swing, I count for 2 seconds before I can analyze that shot. And that really helped me. Is there something for you that you think?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I've gotten a very crash course version of it. And at some point this week, me and the 3 other girls who weren't able to make it on that day are going to sit down with Coach Hall, and she's going to walk us through it again fully. So also kudos there to make sure that everyone on the team is able to get that same opportunity. But even in my very short crash course I got that next morning, I know a little bit about this because they've written a great book, and I enrolled in, like, they have an online version of their teachings that I took when I was a junior golfer. And I think it was kind of fun for me to touch back on it because I think when I was 16, a lot of it helped, but I didn't have the experiences that I have now. And so I think I'm in a better space to actually use them. So I loved the idea of good enough. In that memory box, it's how you they talked a lot about how you categorize your shots. And so there's great, good, and good enough. And the goal is that you're either positive or neutral about your shots after them because it helps you move on to the next one. And so for me, throughout the entire week, that theory or that idea of just labeling your shots as good enough was so helpful because I'm so critical of myself even if I hit a ball close to the hole, if I don't hit it well, I'm like, okay, well, I thinned it. But it's like at the end of the day, that actually does not matter at all. Like,
Also,
you're 6 feet away. That's great.
Bottom line, if you can hit the ball again, what we talked about is that's good enough. Like if you're not in a house or you're not OB, that's good enough. But the thing that was interesting that a lot of people were asking is, okay, when is it not good enough? And obviously, if it's out of bounds, it's not good enough. But we talked a lot about cutting and distracting and just being factual. So you miss a putt. Okay, I underread that or I overread it. Or you hook a shot, my club face was closed. Just being factual. So then you're not thinking those negative thoughts. That's what helped me the most this weekend.
Yeah. And I loved that. And that being factual applies to all of them. If you can label a shot as great, but then also why was it great? Okay, I was in my think box. I had a very clear vision of what I wanted. I didn't bring my think box into my play box. I simply executed. And so also being factual about why something was good, I think helps you hold on to it because our brain I learned this in my psych classes and then it was cool to kind of have it re-brought up, is our brain is programmed to remember negative things as a survival mechanism. Because if you went into a certain bush and then a tiger was in there and you almost got killed, you're going to remember that versus the bush that had good berries is not as important.
Mm-hmm.
And so then comparing that now to golf if you have this negative memory of hitting something out of bounds and you're not factual about it, you just know it went OB, then your brain's going to remember that better. And so adding those facts and the concrete evidence to the good shots helps you remember them more. So I loved all of it. I'm really looking forward to kind of getting my full crash course of it. Because like I said, I got a very short version, but yeah, that for me, that good enough thing was so helpful. And it was funny. You play with a bunch of different girls throughout the week, and every single group I was in, you could just kind of hear like, oh, well, it was good enough. It was good enough. Cause we were in carts. So we were, you're interacting with your teammates all week long. And I think we also did a really good job of kind of holding each other accountable to the Vision 54 mindset. And, I got in the cart once and I was with Ailish and I was like, oh, that was not good. And she goes, yeah, but it was good enough. And she's like, you can hit it again. And I was like, that's a really good point. So I also think it's cool. Just another layer of our team. I'm a junior. Ailish is a freshman. Like she's helping me. And I think that's very present throughout our team. So yeah, that was day one. Then we arrived that night, my group of 4, and the next day we qualified. We went out to Westbrook, which is a really cool course. We've talked about it on here. It's that course in Peoria where a lot of retired Huskers live. I actually got to meet up with I've played that tournament my past 2 years, and I've stayed with the same host family both times. Her name's Marilyn. She's awesome. So I texted her and I was like, hey, I'm actually out in Peoria today. I'll be playing the course. I should be around hole 12 at about 2:30 if all goes well. And so she was out in her yard at 2:30 and I got to go say hi to her. So that was super cool. And that was a pretty good day for all of us. It's a gettable course, but we all played really well. I think you and I both shot even. And we were both in the mix. And I think our highest score that day was 77. So it was a really solid day for the team.
Yeah. There were so many Husker people out there. And funny story, shout out to Jessica Jolly. And I know she would approve of me saying this because I've heard her tell the story to everyone. But she was in the fairway on, I think it was hole 17. It's a par 5. And she may have hit the hosel a little bit into a house, and that house happened to be the Husker house. So there was all the Husker flags and they were out there and they thought it was hilarious. So I saw so many Husker people out there, and it was really fun getting to play Westbrook the day after Vision 54 because it is a gettable course. So I thought applying that was a lot easier for me, at least.
Yeah, it was. I love that course. That's the course I've played the most of anywhere we've played collegiate golf. I've played 3 rounds plus a practice round there twice. So that's 8 rounds there. And then we also played our training trip there last year. So this was my 10th round there. And I also went out and watched the Huskers play there when I was a senior in high school. So I've watched then an 11th round, and I love that course. It's super fun. And then that night we went over to your house. My Seahawks won. So it was just an all around phenomenal day. Harrison, we'll get into it more on Thursday, but condolences to your Bears. But yeah, your dad had the game on the TV for me, and that was a super fun night. Your mom and dad did a great job.
Yeah, that was fun. We had some pizza and wings, and just my family getting to kind of see all of my best friends is really fun. And the dog. I love my dog.
Yeah, Baxter, the star of the show.
Yeah. So the next day we went over and played Desert Mountain Outlaw course. So Desert Mountain is awesome. They have 7 different courses there, and it's really exclusive. So the fact that we got access on there was really, really fun. And I honestly would say that's the hardest golf course I've ever played in my entire life. But it was beautiful and so much fun, but it was challenging.
Yeah, I mean, it was so cool to be out there. Like Max said, it's really exclusive. The practice facilities, the clubhouse, everything. Just if you've played golf, when you walk around a nice golf course, it's just there's something different in the air, and that course had it. But yeah, it was definitely in college the hardest course I've played, and probably top 2 for me in my life. Maybe top 3. Carnoustie in Scotland is pretty brutal, so I think it's got to be up there. But yeah, and it's a very desert course. There was just a lot of trouble off the tee. Visually, it's one of those Nicholas designs that kind of like works with your eye and draws it to the areas that you don't want to go more so than the areas that you do. But I was talking to some girls in my group, and I was talking to the member who I think he's connected to Nebraska, right? That's who got us out there. And so I was talking to him, and I was like, I honestly feel like this course is like swinging a weighted golf club or like a weighted baseball bat, where it's hard when you do it, but then the second you take that weight off, it's so much easier to swing, and it's so much easier to play. And I think that, yes, it was, a more challenging day. The scores might've been slightly higher, and like the course itself is harder than Westbrook. But I think as long as we, stay factual and remove a lot of emotion from it, that can be a really helpful round for our team, because I think it did expose, okay, we're really good at applying, our mental Vision 54 to an easier course. And then maybe it's a little harder when the course is hard.
Yeah.
Because I know myself, I shot quite a few strokes higher. My physical ability did not change overnight. It was, in my opinion, more so for me. I just got a little nervous the lines weren't as easy. And, I didn't play horribly, but I think the difference was a little bit more mental. And so for me, that was a great thing to learn of, okay, I need to dig down on this and get better at what we're learning. And I know I will. It just comes with time.
Yeah, I think I learned a lot about myself on that round, and
We played together too.
we did. Obviously, you have a lot of difficult shots at that course, and it may not have always gone my way, but I think my mental game was honestly what saved me in that round. I could have completely blown up, but every shot that I would do, I was like, okay, did I commit to this shot? And like, there's nothing you can do after that. And there was specifically this one par 3, and we all hit beautiful shots, and I think 2 of us were over the green. And at that point, all you can do is laugh of like, okay, it was a beautiful shot. It just happened to go over. So that for me was the biggest thing of just, okay, if I committed, then I can't get mad at myself. But there were quite a few tee shots that I did think I wasn't committed, and I was just kind of swipey, and, then obviously the ball is not going to go where you want it to go. And so just that learning lesson of, okay, I need to just trust my routine and trust my process. And then I do think if I would have just swung as hard as I can, it would probably go in the fairway over trying to guide it. So I did learn that about myself.
Yeah. I mean, it was such a treat to be out there. I think we all learned a lot about ourselves, and a lot of good laughs and everything like that. And then I took, probably 50 pictures. So that was
did.
so many pictures. You were in my group.
I benefited from
you were
it.
in a lot of them. But yeah, and then final day, it was an early wake up call because we did fly home that same day. We got to go play Wigwam, which is another great course. They host we were at the Gold Course. They host the Patriot All-American, which is a pretty big amateur tournament. And yeah, another great test. It was probably right in between Desert Mountain and Westbrook. And I think it was nice to kind of step down to something a little easier, but that was a different style course. It was less desert, a little bit more trees, very much like a placement course of
a lot of bunkers.
Yeah, the bunkers I think are the biggest defense of that course. If they are placed either directly where your ball is going to roll out to or directly where your ball is going to carry to. So I think I had played a practice round there earlier during the break, and that was very nice. And I was happy that I did that because I kind of knew where I wanted to place my shots and stuff like that. But yeah, Westbrook, very gettable, Desert Mountain, a little more challenging. And then Wigwam, kind of a very course management course. We got the kind of plethora of types of courses.
Coach did a really good job at kind of mixing it up. And I did not appreciate the Arizona weather as much this winter break until I got home last night. But I did pack my parka, which everyone was pretty jealous.
Yeah, that was smart because we got back into Omaha and I'm freezing because I only have a hoodie on and it's like 15 degrees outside, and Mac has her parka on because I was giving her crap because I was like, why would you bring a parka to Arizona?
It went with me the whole time.
It was smart. But yeah, and then every night we got to hang out. We had really good dinners, obviously your parents' house, and then we ordered Olive Garden in, and we took advantage of the pool. There was a pool table as well. And Lori, our assistant coach, is sneaky good at pool.
Really?
Yeah, Coach Hall as well, actually. Craig, Coach Hall, and Lori, all phenomenal at pool.
Okay.
And JJ, Jess Raleigh can hold her own as well. So yeah, it was just such a great trip for our team, and it was really competitive. We have a decently different lineup.
We do.
So that's exciting. We've got one of the girls who didn't play in the fall is now in our lineup and played really well. I think she was leading almost all of qualifying. Our player who was exempt, also won qualifying. So it's kind of, impressive when you're exempt, but you can still go out and play well and stuff like that. So yeah, Mac and I played well, not quite our week, but that's kind of how college golf goes. So next week we're going to have someone who was at the tournament on, and then we can also give you a look into, what we do at home and how we make sure that we're still helping the team and getting better even when we're not on the road with them. But we'll get a little more into that and then also get into our favorite section of the show, our little debate section right after this break on 93.7 The Ticket.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane University, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our long history of innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes us different. Now is your time. Apply today at doane.edu/apply.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one. all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa,
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody. Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in January. Try their hot chocolate latte, cookie croissants, and special winter flavor hot cocoa cream cheese on any bagel. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward, Bagels and Joe.
Way out there where the sun comes up under the big red sky, I do life the way I love, with family by my side. I feel home with me, no matter where I go.
Proud of where we're from, excited for where we're going. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Hey everyone, this is Austin Orman from Old School with Foreman and Orman, live from 1040 O Street in the heart of downtown Lincoln, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. My favorite thing about downtown Lincoln has to be the year-round energy. Downtown Lincoln never stops. It's easy to get to, has everything you could need or want in dining, entertainment, and retail, and of course it has Lincoln's best sports talk, proudly located in downtown Lincoln on the corner of 11th and O.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Now back to Big Red Birdies on 93.7 The Ticket. Here are your hosts, Mackenzie Bream and Arden Louchheim.
Welcome back to Big Red Birdies. Arden Louchheim and Mackenzie Bream here talking all things Husker women's golf. Kind of recapped our training trip in that first segment. We had a couple more things we wanted to add. Most importantly, that we got caddies at Desert Mountain, the tough course on the second day. They weren't allowed to read the greens for us, but they could help us with anything else. And we had an awesome caddy. His name was Jack. He was iconic. What a guy. He was obviously, it was a grind that day, like we said, and he was just along for the ride with us. He was awesome, making us laugh. He, on the hole that you talked about with the good iron shots, I peered my 6-iron. I have a lower ball flight, just in general. I'm working on it. But I hit it great. I could not have hit it better. And it hit the green and just kind of rolled out, which like I would say for me hitting a 6-iron is not uncommon. It's like a pretty high iron, or low iron. And he turns to me and goes, "Oh, you tow that?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm really sorry."
Peered it.
I was like, "Yeah, I peered it." And he got so red. He was so embarrassed.
Yeah, he started to become our friend though. And one time I hit a shot. I thought I hit it perfect. And he's like, "No, that's off the green. That's off the green. That's short." And we walk up, he goes, "Told you so." And I was like, whoa, okay.
Like Mac is meanwhile dealing with like this horrendous lie and like this super touchy chip as she's already made like bogey on the last hole.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Told ya."
It honestly, it lightened the mood. It made it better for sure.
No, he was awesome. So yeah, every group had their caddies, and it was funny. Each of us came to dinner that night with kind of our own story about our caddies, which was fun. So yeah, like we said, it was just an awesome trip with so many great memories. And so yeah, this was my best qualifying so far this year. I was pretty close, and the girls will be going to UCF this next weekend. We've got a great lineup going, and then meanwhile at home, over half our team was at home this week because only 5 are traveling to UCF, and we've got 7 at home. So there'll be a lot of work done at home. We get a practice plan while we're here, and it's obviously not glamorous to not be on the road, but there's an entire side of college golf that's also not talked about. And for us, our lineup fluctuates so much week to week and so much tournament to tournament that I think it is important to talk about, what goes on at home. And so that's why next week, obviously me and Mac would love to be the ones to tell you about the tournament. And I guarantee you we will during this semester at some point, but also there's going to be the weeks that doesn't happen. And so then we can cover what happens at home, and then we'll bring on someone who was out on the road. So next week will be a good show as well. We'll talk to, I think we're trying to get Hannah Kono, one of our teammates, on. We haven't told her that though. So hopefully she's not listening.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to get into our debate segment now, our favorite segment. We just texted our team group chat to ask them for ideas. And what was the first one we got?
I'm about to get made fun of. But Simran Shaw said Texas wedge or chip. And I'm not going to lie, I thought a Texas wedge was putting with a wedge, but apparently it's just putting.
Off the green.
Yes, but I guess I should have known that.
We got to give her the benefit of the doubt. She's only been golfing for like 5 years.
Yeah, my bad. But I'm 100%. Okay, actually,
I'm not 100% either way.
I've sort of changed. I used to chip all the way because I could never really get the feel for putting off of the green, but I've started to do it more, and I've kind of determined that my worst putt is going to be a decent chip, and so the odds of my chip being better than my putt are probably pretty slim. So it still definitely matters. If it's a little bit uphill, then I like to chip it.
Same.
Just because I don't really know how that putt's going to work, but I don't have like a clear, distinct answer. It kind of varies for me.
No, I was curious to see what you were going to say because I'm so up in the air on that and I don't even have a process to tell you how I make my decision. It is so most of my short game is based on feel for me. And that one, I bring both clubs up. I address the ball with both, and it's just whatever I feel better about. And I actually hate having a caddy. Not that Jack ever talked about that with me, but in general, like all places, I hate having a caddy tell me if they think I should putt or chip, just because it's so up to me. Mm-hmm. I've had one caddy in my life who I trust to make that decision for me. And that's my friend who was caddying me this summer when I won. But besides that, I just have to make the decision myself. I think it is, if it's uphill, I'll usually chip. Downhill, I'm always putting, just because getting the air under it, and especially if it's short, you can't really put spin on the ball. It's just going to have so much momentum behind it. So, yeah, I'm curious to see of whether, I'm always curious when I walk up to the ball what I'm going to feel, because it's really a game time decision.
Have to bring both.
But yeah, and like we said, if you guys ever want to chime in on the conversation, Harrison, give the number.
Yep. As always, Starter Name and text line open to you guys. 402-464-5685. Free to join in through any of these shows, including this one, Big Red Birdies.
Perfect. Thank you. So yeah, any questions or opinions, if you have your own Texas wedge or chip, anything like that, let us know. Our next one, I can't believe we haven't touched on this one yet, but it's walk or ride. We've done walk or carry, but we haven't done walk or ride.
I'm big on walking, unless I'm in Arizona summer heat where it's about 115 degrees, then I would like to ride. But I don't know. There's just something about just walking down the course, kind of just looking around. I think, especially when it's slow golf, if it's slow golf, I would so much rather walk, because I have no attention span and I get bored very easily, and I can at least walk slowly to my ball. And I don't know.
You've never walked slowly in your life.
Okay. Really call me out. But I don't know. I just think there's something to walking.
No, that's so fair. Because even the I feel like it doesn't get as monotonous when you're waiting because you at least feel like you're doing an activity from one shot to the next. So then it's like, it's not just driving and then waiting. You're at least walking and then waiting.
Right.
But yeah, I'm also big on walking. Although I will say, I'm so happy we didn't walk Desert Mountain. We were supposed to walk that course.
That would have been hard.
And I'm all for walking until it becomes like an actual like aggressive challenge that, you know, fitness is great, but I don't really want to be like lugging my bag up a 45-degree hill. There are some courses that you just cannot walk.
Well, we also wouldn't have finished the round.
Well, we didn't.
Well, true. We didn't finish one hole.
Yeah, one of our groups was finishing 18 in the dark, and so we actually dropped hole 18 and just gave everyone par.
Yeah.
Which
I made bogeys.
I made par,
It
so
benefited me.
I was chilling. I'm just happy I didn't birdie because I would have been so sad.
Yeah. I'd really coach, please.
Please. No, but yeah. So I like walking. I will say the one time I don't is if it's like an hour before sunset and the course is empty, and if I can like grab a cart at my home course and just blast tunes and go get an entire 9 in, or maybe more than that in an hour, I love doing that.
Yeah, like a late night 9
Yeah.
in a cart is fun. But I also feel like if I'm walking, then I'm sort of doing like a little bit of a workout at the same time. You know, I might as well walk.
No, it's like if I'm
already golfing.
if I'm gonna spend 5 hours of my day, I at least want to get a physical something out
Yeah.
of it. Like this week was hard because I was so tired because like mentally the rounds are draining. But I was still getting like 15,000 steps, but it wasn't, you know, you're tired because of the mental strain, but you actually haven't done that much physical activity, which if it's tournament golf, I'm choosing walk every single time. I think recreationally it's a little different for me, but yeah.
Yeah.
I also don't like how fast I get to the ball when I'm riding. I just need time to process. I might still be thinking about my other shot by the time we pull up.
Exactly. Yeah, we walk basically all of our qualifying rounds, which I really enjoy doing that. Except then I can't put all my snacks in my bag, which is unfortunate. I like to load it up when we're riding.
No, that was also the layers part is great.
Yes.
And like you can have as many balls as you want. There are benefits to riding
sure.
because there is a machine doing all the work. But yeah, but we talked about it. Sometimes you forget snacks anyway.
Yeah, I do. I didn't this week. Oh, well, I did one day,
I forgot electrolytes,
but I packed them.
I was pretty sad about that. I guess we did learn that Coach Hall listens to these episodes, and I didn't tell her that I forgot electrolytes. So you heard it here first. I got them from a teammate, I think.
Still hydrated.
Yeah, drank a lot of water. What's our next one?
Our next one is early tea time or late tea time. How late are we talking, and how early?
Oh shoot, we didn't provide parameters.
Like an 8 a.m.
You can. How about you make your parameters?
Okay.
You build them. In.
Actually, let's go like sunrise. Like 7:30.
Okay.
Or you could still finish 18.
I want to be able to get 18 in.
Okay,
so
2:30.
Oh, I was thinking later. Like 4 in the summer.
Oh, we're going summer. Okay, 7:30 in the morning or 4 p.m.
When you're like assuming you can get 18 in.
So I just really, really don't like waking up. That sounds bad. Like I enjoy the effort of waking up. But I don't want an early morning. I would like to wake up at like 10 a.m. and then go have my day, get some breakfast, then have some lunch, you know, maybe work out.
We're very food focused.
Work out, do some homework. Then I want to go golf, personally.
Yeah. I'm conflicted here. I like both options because it allows you to still have your day. I hate middle of the day tea times because there's like not quite enough time before them, but there's also not enough time after. So yeah. I'm good with either. If it's a tournament, I would rather tee off at 7:30 than tee off at 12.
I would too in a tournament.
If I'm just playing for fun, I think I agree with you. I'd rather be I saw on TikTok there's like the dew sweeper, and then it was that Haley Buchholt, the golf girl TikToker, and she called it a barn closer to be the late night one. And I think I'd rather be a barn closer than a dew sweeper. Just to your point of I like getting my day in and then kind of closing it off. And I think even when we were playing at Desert Mountain, we started seeing the sunset and everything, obviously, because they couldn't play the last hole because it was dark, so the sun did set. And it's gorgeous. And so I love nighttime when you're out alone. I guess both of these, I'm assuming no one else is on the course with me because that's, I think, what I like.
I will say, though, with the sunset one, as the sun is actively setting, your eyes are dying.
We didn't talk about that.
No.
We had a par 5 that I have played in, like every golfer has played in the sun before. You have that shot where you like look up, you can't see the ball. This was something entirely different.
I think it was hole 17.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I had to hit a 3-wood, and I genuinely couldn't see my ball once I hit it. And my eyes they just hurt so bad because I tried to look at the hole, obviously.
I don't know why, like what happened with it, but it's hard to even express how directly we were looking in the sun. And like for those of you watching the stream, like we were holding our hands up to try to block it, but you literally couldn't block it and still see the hole because your hand would cover the entire hole. So I was just using, our carts luckily had GPSs, and I was just trusting the caddy on where to aim because I had no idea where I was hitting. And like I looked up, you like address the ball and you take your final look to the left. And I looked back down and I had those, those dark spots in your vision when you've looked at the sun too much.
Mm-hmm.
I like couldn't see my ball. And so I'm like blinking, standing over the ball. I did not hit a good shot on that one.
That's okay. It was good enough.
I made par.
Yeah.
It was a great par, actually. I was pretty hyped about that. I made like my wood was okay, but I couldn't really see. And then the next shot I also couldn't see, missed short left. And had this little. Because I'm talking about this because we got to talk about our favorite shots of the day after every round. Just the whole thing of ingraining the positives. And this was my favorite shot of the day. I had a 40-yarder and the pin was on top of a tier, and I hit this nice kind of like low running spin shot that went up the tier and went right next to the hole, and it was like 4 feet away from par.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I was proud of that. You were standing up on the green.
Yeah,
you saw that one, so that was good. Our next one relates to putting. Aim point versus feel. For those of you who don't know, aim point is more of a systematic way of reading greens. You use your feet to try to feel the slope in the green. And then depending on what you feel in your feet, if you feel like it's a 1 degree slope, you would hold up one finger on that side of the hole, a 2 degree slope, 2, stuff like that.
100% feel. I can't figure out aim point, and I don't know. I would start to overthink it, I think, when I like to feel it with my feet. But I don't know. I can't get behind the aim point. I see everyone holding up their fingers and I just don't understand what's going on. And I just feel like that used to not be a thing. We might as well just keep it not a thing.
I feel like that reasoning is like, oh, we didn't have cars.
Yeah.
So like, but get rid of the cars.
Hey, we can walk everywhere.
Oh, okay. I clearly, based on that reaction, I use aim point. I really like it, but it's definitely been a skill that I've had to acquire. Coach Hall has one of those digital levels. And so me and Hannah, one of our teammates, have been working on it together. And during the summer or during the fall when it was warm, we would go out on the green and pick a putt and go stand on it. And we would stand on it first, like kind of basically guess what we thought the degree was. And then we'd put the level down. So you're basically trying to calibrate your own body, which has definitely been a work in progress. So I think if you don't put in the work, it's useless. I think that just feeling with your feet, like I think if you haven't practiced and you're holding up random numbers, it's not going to do anything. I think because that's what I did in junior golf. I haven't always done aim point. I did it for a little bit. I didn't practice enough with it and it wasn't working because I wasn't doing it correctly. And so I stopped. And now in college that I'm doing it correctly, it's been good and I really like it. I think people overcomplicate it because what I've learned is you only stand on the putt in 2 points. You just find the first third and the second third. And then it's not some average of the two or anything like that. If I feel 1 degree on the first one and then 2 degrees on the second one, it's not suddenly 1.5 degrees. It's just 2. So you take the biggest degree that you feel basically.
Do you do it for every putt, like short putts?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I've never attempted to practice, so I'm kind of a hater for no reason, but I don't know if I ever will.
I don't know if I'd call you a hater. You just don't do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then the short putts also just have different rules. Like if you're inside 10 feet, you usually would take like a step behind the ball. If you're inside 10 feet, you just stay standing over the ball. And then if you're inside 6 feet, you use your pinky finger instead of your big finger.
Okay.
Just because short putts don't move that much.
Yeah.
So it's a smaller finger and stuff like that.
And I don't mind if people do it, but I really don't like slow golf. And I think a lot of times certain people don't necessarily have it mastered and then it takes quite a while.
Should I put you on the spot here? You played with me the second day.
No, you were fine. You were not slow. You were not. But yeah.
No,
that's my reasoning.
The part that I do find hard about it is that when people, golf etiquette is you don't step in people's lines. And like, it's kind of hard to read a putt with your feet and not step in people's lines. So that's the only part I've actually been having trouble with is, being polite,
right?
Not getting in people's lines and stuff like that. But maybe we'll convert you to aim point. We did get you to start using your 3-wood. So
true. Did I even talk about that?
We'll get there in the next segment. But yeah, Mac did use her 3-wood during qualifying. It was awesome.
Multiple times.
We will touch on that in our final segment and get into a couple more debates and talk about UCF a little bit right after the break.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, to brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hi, I'm Scott Miller, Business Development Officer at Midwest Bank's Lincoln branches. As a lifelong Lincolnite with over 30 years of experience in financial management, I'm here to help your business grow and succeed. My focus is building strong relationships with businesses and clients across Lincoln. Because at Midwest Bank, we believe banking is about people, not just numbers. Visit us at midwest.bank or stop by one of our Lincoln locations. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
It happens. All of a sudden, you need a plumber. Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Problem solved with Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Way up there where the sun comes up under the big red sky. I do life the way I love, with family by my side. I feel home with me, no matter where I go.
Proud of where we're from, excited for where we're going. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Just got the brakes fixed on my car today.
You did? You haven't even left the office.
I didn't need to. I got a guy who picks up my car and drops it off when it's done.
Well, who's your guy?
Graham Tire. They have pickup and delivery service at all 5 of their Lincoln locations.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their Contact Us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Now back to Big Red Birdies on 93.7 The Ticket. Here are your hosts, Mackenzie Bream and Arden Louchheim.
Welcome back to our final segment of Big Red Birdies. Arden Louchheim here with Mackenzie Bream. One of these days, I'm going to get Max to do the intro.
I'll do it.
It's going to happen.
Next episode.
But we needed to talk about your 3-wood.
Yes, guys, it was so exciting. I, as everyone knows, have had a lot of trouble with my 3-wood, and I hit it probably at least 8 times this weekend, and they were all really good. So I've gotten over that mental barrier, which was really exciting. And it's also very nice since I'm one of the shorter hitters on the team. So now I have a club that goes about 210, which is really needed for me. So that was honestly one of the most exciting things about the trips, because I've always been so scared to try it out during qualifying, because normally it has
there's a lot on the line.
It has turned into a top, but none of those. So those are gone. But yeah, that was a very exciting moment. We wanted to talk about on our last debate.
Yeah, it got sent in by the group chat's been active.
It has.
Since we sent in this question. And we're very excited to get said group chat in here in this room. We're going to have guests, I think, hopefully every week after this. But our last debate sent in by the one and only Brooke Bream, your sister, who has declined to come on the show, but we'll get her on here, was should you get relief from a divot?
100%. I think it is such a crazy rule that you can hit a drive in the middle of the fairway and be in a divot. But I will say I understand that it's like, okay, well, what is a fairway and what do you determine a divot? And
so do you think you have to get relief only in the fairway?
Yeah, I think only in the fairway, because you should not get rewarded if you're not in the fairway, that's on you.
But what if you're in a horrendous divot in the rough?
That's on you. Hit it there.
But what if you dropped? I'm going to keep challenging. What if you still had to drop in the rough, but just not in said divot?
Yeah, that's fine. I just think, why are we rewarding someone you missed the fairway? But
that's fair.
If you hit a perfect drive in the fairway, you should never be in a divot. But I do think it should be, you just ask your playing partners, is this a divot? Everyone agrees on it, and then you can drop. But I don't really see the problem in that. I know some people would say, well, certain playing partners are going to say it's not a divot, and other people would say it is. But I mean, yeah, but at the end of the day, I don't think that you should have to hit out of a divot.
Yeah, no, I was like challenging you. I totally agree.
You think in the rough? No, also.
I don't know. I was in the divot in the rough this weekend, so maybe I'm just salty. But I actually had a great shot and I made birdie, so I don't really know why I'm mad. It was phenomenal. I was in the worst divot ever and just came in really steep on it, launched it out, made the putt. It was sick.
Love it.
It was yesterday, actually. That's crazy. We qualified yesterday.
I know.
Wow, time flies. But yeah, I same as you. I just don't think you should be penalized. That was crazy. For being in the fairway. And so I do think that the gray area is really hard of what's a divot, and then like who agrees, what's the procedure. Also trying to improve pace of play. Like when someone goes on a cart path, it does slow you guys down for a second, and just stuff like that. So I think there are reasons, but I don't think the reasons are good enough, because you could apply that same like gray area theory to like, okay, if you're saying that when you drop in a red hazard, it's where you crossed. That's always kind of a debate where you cross.
Oh, for sure.
And so you just figure it out at some point and you drop. Like, I think that's kind of the same thing with the divot of just like, okay, you know, it's the same thing. Or like when a piece of man-made equipment is in your line or it's going to impede your swing, that's also a judgment call. Golf is so full of judgment calls. And I just think at some point the divot thing is outrageous that you're not getting relief from those.
I do think at some point they will change that. I don't know when, but I think it will eventually.
I also think at this point, because golf is trying to stay relevant, that would create publicity to a certain extent. Of the rule change when it was going from having to always remove the pin to putting the pin in, which you didn't even know was a rule, which is really funny in itself because you didn't play golf in the era that you had to pull the pin. That created a certain amount of pub for a second. And being able to ground your club in the red hazard, that also created a certain level of excitement. And like, yes, that's kind of in the golf community, but I do think that anything they can do to kind of create some level of publicity is good. So I would greatly appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay, I have another one. Is it acceptable to play a colorful ball?
We got to be careful saying this because there is a member of our team who plays a colorful ball now.
I know. But I was going to say, I think yellow is the only acceptable color.
Yeah, I would have to agree. And the reasoning behind her playing that is actually super interesting because the yellow coating on the ball apparently creates a little bit less spin. And this is one of our girls who hits the ball very far. She's got, I think, the highest club speed on this team, or maybe second highest. And so she has a big issue with too much spin where her wedges will be ripping off greens and stuff like that. And the yellow coating is actually, has less friction on the club face, creates less spin. And so obviously for that reason, if there's a ball that could improve your game, I'm playing that. If you told me a Kirkland would improve my game, I would play it. So
100%.
I guess if you told me a green ball would shave off a couple strokes, I'd play it. But
that's fair.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us on another episode of Big Red Birdies here on 93.7 The Ticket. Arden Louchheim and Mackenzie Bream, the team, will be off to Orlando, Florida to play in the UCF Challenge and start off the spring season. And we'll talk all about that with a guest and also what we got to do over the weekend as well. So everyone have a lovely Tuesday night, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch.